Pop Culture Pastor.
All right, Cody. This was a big week for us.
Huge week.
Big week on the From, because we both champion a couple Dark Horse characters.
We do.
And mine is back on the right track. Yours, this is a big week for you. There's just no way around it.
Yeah, we're back.
And because Cody's pet character, I don't know if that's the right way to call them, that we have these like supporting cast characters that we just kind of champion. But if you've listened to this watch-alongs for any amount of time, then you know that this was a big week for Cody. And we're excited to get there. This is Pop Culture Pastor Watch-alongs. We are here to review from Season 4, Episode 7, called Best Laid Plans. But first, before we get into that...
Okay.
What the From? I decided to make you wait for it. Cody, what the From?
This week's What the From moment, we are now experiencing hallucinations from the town drunkard. He is now seeing hospital staff, but also hospital staff that look like the ballerina.
I mean, this opens the door to a lot of possible answers about questions we've had. I know online I've seen people talking about this episode saying, another episode with no questions answered. I'm not so sure. Not so sure about that. They're just not being obvious and telling you they're answered, but there might have been some questions answered this week.
There was.
We will get to it. Here are our 3 big questions. We call them loose threads.
Yeah.
So 3 questions we're tracking heading into this episode. Question 1, what is the man in yellow's game? Or Sophia, or the person in yellow, if we're being correct.
The Trinity of Yellow.
We have asked this question pretty much every week. We're going to keep asking it until we find out what's going on. He killed Jim. He's living with Sarah. He eats people. He's trained Sarah like a dog.
Yeah.
He poisoned Henry's drink with his blood and implanted an idea directly into his brain. And what does this guy actually want? Is he trying to divide and conquer? Is he trying to be free of Fromville himself? Does he just want chaos? I don't know. Cody, is he the boss or is he just the worst middle manager in the universe?
Maybe both.
Until the show tells us the question stays on the board. Question 2. Will Fatima's golem be a kaiju for the Fromvillians and stomp on the monsters?
That'd be weird.
Cody, Fatima has been building a clay protector in her room for weeks now. Cody said last week it looks like a Lego Maui.
It does.
I said it looks like an impressionist painting. And Fatima keeps telling us this is her way of fighting back. So the question is this golem actually going to do anything? Or is it just really elaborate colony house decorations? 6 episodes in to this season, the Mudman has not blinked or moved yet.
Not like the heads at Easter Island.
Do those blink?
Those supposedly move.
What? That's a conspiracy we need to get on. That's for another conversation.
Yeah, I'm saving it.
Question 3. Is the show going to pay off my donut shop theory? Or was that Julie and Sarah scene really just straight up filler? Because I called it last week, Cody. I said the show spent way too much time with Julie reminiscing about going to the donut shop with her dad. And I said, this mattered. Sarah forgot what donuts were.
Which was bananas.
But this was like the camera kind of stayed. The camera lingered on her. There was eye contact. There was longing, Cody. This show was trying to tell us something. Either Julie's going to wish a donut shop into existence and we get our first confirmed Fromville manifestation in real time, or the writer spent a full subplot on a donut red herring.
I'm not ruling that out.
Either we get the donuts or I want my time back, Cody. 3 threads, all of them unclipped thus far. It's time for our scene-by-scene breakdown of From Season 4, Episode 7, Best Laid Plans. We start off with Randall, which, that's interesting.
It's not usually where we start off.
He's in the colony house basement. Why?
Because that's where everyone goes.
Where the script had him. He starts to throw his body into the door. The door we uncovered in the last episode. The door's pretty stout, 'twould seem. Jade comes down and stops him and says that maybe it's better for the time being the door stays sealed, and he slaps a talisman on it. Maybe the previous residents walled up that door for a reason? Randall says, our lives are weird, man. and Jade concurs in what was an early comedic moment that I enjoyed. Cody, the show, pumping the brakes on the door storyline for at least this episode. Did that disappoint you at all?
No, because, I mean, if we just rushed in and they were able to do whatever, series would be done.
Yeah, they did it the right way, because before we can set up this elaborate attempt to do whatever it is they're going to do, they're going to have to tell people. And so that brings us to the truth coming out at Colony House. Boyd and Kenny are looking for Henry, and they can't find him when all of a sudden he rolls into Colony House. And, dude, he's not even drunk adjacent. He's just drunk.
I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, his attitude is definitely suffering, because he's like, I'm fine. Do I need to say it again? He gets like all tough with Boyd. And I'm like, oh, Henry, no. I don't think you're going to win that one, buddy.
That might be side effects of drinking the blood.
Maybe. Does gather Henry and Victor in one room. Tabitha gathers Julie and Ethan in another room at their home. And the same news drops kind of at the same time in both rooms. That Tabitha was once Miranda. That Jade was once Christopher. They have been to this town before. They have died here before, and they're remembering things. And the whole reincarnation reveal hits the people who needed to hear it first, which are Tab's kids and Victor and Henry. And Henry does not take it well. He explodes. How dare you? He calls the theory crazy. He storms out of the room. Boyd, maybe not the best deliverer of this information.
Well, it's okay to say, like, I don't believe you, and they should be like, yeah, that's fine. She just had this vision. It might mean something, it might not. Like, I was bamboozled why they're like, well, he'll come around to it. We'll get him there. And it's like, I don't know if he needs to be there.
Yeah, I don't even know why Boyd was taking it so hard. That was kind of what I was referencing. He was like, what, did I say that wrong? I said that wrong. And I was like, who cares? You said it.
Yeah, this is the most we have ever talked.
Henry's inebriated, man. He's not going to take much well.
No.
Victor wants him to just stop talking. Victor seems very sullen, which is out of character. And he switches the subject altogether and says, we need to find out about the man in yellow, because if he's back, it could all be happening again. Opening credits.
What happened the first time?
Well, we know, right?
Oh, do we know in full?
I think we can piece together that the town may have turned on each other, and that the man in yellow just cleans up, he just eats the leftovers.
Yeah, I would venture to say that I don't think he actually kills. Besides,
we did see Jim.
The Jim and the priest, but I think that he prefers to not do it in like mass,
Maybe, yeah. After the opening credits, we get the Colony House meeting where everybody's going to hear the news now, so they don't even waste time. They told the main players. Now it's like, Cody, it's a town hall. They're having a town. We are fully sharing all the information. It's like a Christmas miracle.
Where were you guys season 1, 2, and 3?
Jade tells them what he thinks needs to happen with the Onkui kid bones. Sophia is watching intently in the group. For her part, her poker face game is on point this week. You can't tell whether she's alarmed or whether she's happy with these developments. But what we do know is she is privy to all the plans.
That's why we don't tell everyone.
Oh, now we're like, we told you. I don't know why. You haven't been telling anyone anything for the 3 seasons. Now you do. Now you done messed up. Christy plays the part of contrarian here, and Boyd sticks up for it. Marielle also questions. She says this place puts a lot of weird stuff in our heads. She's not wrong.
Nope.
I mean, this could be a mass hallucination on Jade and Tabitha's part.
She literally was chained to an ambulance.
Yeah, and she's clearly hallucinating. Although, by the end of this episode, I think she's going to have a change of heart. Boyd says the message on the wall of the barn when they killed Jim proves that the things they're finding out are real. It said, knowledge comes at a cost. He says, if your enemy threatens you, it's because they are scared. Just then, drunk Henry rolls in and makes a scene. It isn't true. What you're doing isn't right. And Jade follows after him when he leaves. Jade catches up to Henry and he starts talking to Henry, and Henry ain't having it. And he goes through this kind of drunken diatribe, and then he says, "You cannot save dead things."
Bit of foreshadowing.
For whatever reason, Jade seems to get how important it is that everyone is on the same page, and he looks very concerned as Henry kind of stomps off. More concerned than anybody else.
I was baffled.
You're baffled by what?
By Jade's concern. I don't think you need everyone on the same page.
Well,
I think it helps if most everyone is.
I think he's concerned about the split in the town because of how all his other selves died.
The town was already split. I mean, we already have a colony house, and then we just have the townies.
We go to Julie. She's outside, and she's smoking the icky.
Rasta Julie.
It's the hair.
Yes.
She's smoking the bad
Devil's
stuff.
lettuce.
And Tabs steps out, and Tabs goes concerned parent on her, I don't know what it is with Tabitha, but she is the worst in this episode. Like, normally, Cody, I would 100% be on Tab's side here in the real world. But they're not exactly in the real world, are they? They're in a nightmare world. And I'm just like, Tabs, look the other way. What are we doing?
Also, where are you getting this pipe?
Well, then he raises a whole bunch of other questions like, where's that supply coming from? Jules?
Also, this isn't the first time she smoked it.
No.
And you said you could smell it on her. Why didn't you address it earlier, Tabitha?
Ethan comes out and asks if Victor is his brother now. As Tabs begins to explain, Julie interrupts, "It's not real. The town continues to fracture, Cody, between reincarnation truthers and it's all lies." And now we know where Julie aligns.
Although that house has been fractured 1,000 times.
Yeah, did it seem like Julie switched pretty fast, too?
I blame the haircut.
Like, is this all because the stupid bookmark thing didn't work? Like, she literally is doing something. She's walking through time. That's not nothing.
She literally got choked out. That wasn't make-believe.
She did get choked out. As she leaves, Victor walks up, and he says, "We need to find out about the man in yellow, which means I have to do something scary." And he asks him, "Will you please come with me?" And that's the end of that scene. Boyd, Jade, and Kenny are planning, man. They're planning it out. Boyd's laying out the plans to map out the tunnels and have Randall fill them in on a head count of the monsters since he lived so long on the bus. And Jade notices Boyd's tremor, which we haven't seen in a while, but it comes back in this episode in a big way. He tries to play it off in the most hilarious way possible by sticking his hand awkwardly in his suit jacket.
That's how you do it.
And it doesn't work out so well. We go to Acosta. Boyd walks out of the house and up to Acosta, who's playing with the Viewmaster from the last episode.
Will she stop goofing around?
Got a job to do.
Or is this going to be important?
But he's going to give her an actual job because she thinks she's just being distracted on purpose. He thinks he put her down there just to get her out of the way. But he says, no. This is an actual job. I need you to build a team. We're going to dig into the storage and find anything you can on the man in yellow. And she's like, "That's it? A man in yellow?" And he says, "Victor knew him. He was here in the late 70s. We need to know everything we can about him." So
that doesn't even help.
It might. I don't know. Someone's going to find something, right?
Oh, yeah.
Acosta, who's been doing inventory and slandering Viewmasters for the last 2 episodes, finally has a mission worthy of her cop training. Cody, I'm cautiously optimistic that we are on the Acosta rehab tour here. She's back in the good graces of Boyd, and she leaves. As she leaves, she tosses the Viewmaster back to Boyd. Foreshadowing.
Yep.
Boyd, now inside, starts to play with the Viewmaster. He sees mountains, the Statue of Liberty with the World Trade Center in the background, the beach from Lost, and what appears to be a wedding picture of him and his wife, Abby.
What?
He slowly takes the Viewmaster down because he's freaking out. And then when he puts it back up, it's the pyramids in Giza. So
did they get married at Giza?
They did not, but it was just gone. And right when he's, kind of freaking out, Christy walks out of Donna's room and she's mad at Boyd. She's big mad. Boyd apologizes and then lies right to Christy's face about his tremors and not seeing things. Like this man didn't just see hands coming out of the grave 3 episodes ago. I mean, he straight up lies about it all. And she says, you got a lot of people's lives in your hands, Boyd. Come to the clinic. Let me check you out. And I think, Cody, again, we see evidence of Boyd's pride and maybe just a bit of a savior complex. Why does it have to be him?
I feel like with him, I think he knows that he's been in the leadership position and that there's no one else that has really asserted themselves into like second in command. Like Kenny's there, but like no one ever is like, let's go find Kenny and find out what we need to do about this. It's always Boyd. And so he has kind of got himself stuck in this. And it's hard to tell if his hallucinations are medical condition related or if it's from related.
Yeah. He walks in to see Donna, who apparently is just fine, Cody.
It's so annoying.
Donna makes it clear she's not totally down with Boyd and Jade telling everyone what's going on. Donna doesn't want to share information, Cody. Weird.
Now, I did see her talk in an interview, the actress that plays Donna. And she said that Fromspiracy is bananas.
Okay. All right. That's what someone would say if they were actually secretly working against someone, though. I'm just saying, Donna, actress that plays Donna. Then she gets mad at him for not burying Roger yet. Foreshadowing. I love the excuse. Well, we're running out of room in the graveyard. Like you're surrounded by vacant land. Just pick a spot.
Honestly, you could probably stack bodies on top of each other. No one's going to know.
Boyd says he needs to know everything he can about the totems they brought back from the lake. Why, Donna says. Because tonight we're going to find out if they work on those things that come out of the woods. That's a terrible idea. I laughed out loud at that part, by the way. That's a terrible idea. She's not wrong. Apparently, they don't stay dead anyways. So, really not wrong when she brings that part up. She's like, look, the Smiley came back to life. So, if you kill a bunch of them, are they just going to, a bunch of the women here going to get pregnant, deliver demon babies?
That could be traumatic.
That would be really traumatic. Anyways, if it works, they have a real weapon. They can go into the tunnels with a chance, Boyd says. But I can't help but notice that phase 2 depends entirely on phase 1 working, Cody. Is that good planning? Not sure.
Not the worst, but also very limited.
Boyd leaves with the totem and he's spotted by Sophia. Mariel and Christy have an interesting conversation in the shed, though, with Roger's body. Because Mariel's just kind of hanging out there.
That's where I hang out.
And she appears to be doing some deep thinking. Mariel tells Christy the story about how her mom used to tell her when people died, they went somewhere else. But since she presumably can hear everyone who's ever died in Fromville, she figures that Roger and the rest are stuck there, that they don't leave when they die. And whatever they're doing to find those bones, she says, we need to help.
Yeah.
So Mariel switches here. This is a big switch, and she is firmly on Team Faith. Christy clearly has doubts on Team Science still.
I knew there was a reason that we kept Money Piece alive.
But again, we're seeing more division. The two sides are taking shape here. Cut to Henry trespassing in Tab's house. He steps in the kitchen and he starts looking at crayon drawings when he has a surprisingly clear vision, Cody, much like Mariel's vision in the ambulance, which, by the way, she was in close proximity to Sophia at the time. He sees hospital monitoring equipment and an IV in his arm. A light shines into his eyes. And the vision he has is sharp enough that it doesn't feel like a memory. It feels like a now to him. I'm sure it's just a coincidence that it happens in the kitchen of their house, which has seen its share of supernaturalish activity.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a coincidence, or yes, you're catching my drift.
I feel that it's more than a coincidence.
Okay. It's clear, though, that Sophia's "this is all a dream" seed is starting to bloom in Henry's head. And I don't know why it didn't occur to me last week, but I want to do something right now. And it's a little thing we call Fromspiracy!
Fromspiracy?
Yeah, that's right. So Sophia did say to him, what if it's all a dream? And he is very much, we can tell Henry is getting into this. And when I really sat and thought about this last week, Cody, I didn't think about it at the time, but seeing Abby and Boyd's wedding picture, it made me think. Let me take you all the way back to season 1, Cody. In Boyd's memory, when he has to shoot his wife, Abby, because she's apparently gone crazy, she turns to him and says something pretty interesting now in retrospect. It's all a dream.
Uh-oh.
It seems very possible now, Cody, that the show is telling us that Abby was under the thrall of the Man in Yellow, which pretty clearly also says that just like Jade and Tab's reincarnations, that the Man in Yellow's infiltration of Fromville is kind of just a part of the cycle.
Yep.
That this just keeps happening, and he gets control. He gets underneath the skin of some of these people who are caught there, and then he causes this division. And so I think we're seeing something pretty clearly take shape. This is what I meant earlier when I think we are getting some things answered. They're just not spelling it out for us.
Again, I think one of the nurses was also the live action ballerina.
How do you keep saying that? Did I miss the live action? Oh, the vision of the ballerina.
Mm-hmm.
Was she a real person or was she like all messed up? I don't remember.
She
looked similar to the kimono lady, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
you think the nurse was the same lady?
Yes.
That's an interesting Fromspiracy in and of itself.
It is. Which it's interesting that there's these key figures that kind of seem to be making appearances.
I need pictures of that. We need screenshots. God, I wish we had a producer.
That'd be nice.
Victor, Tabs, and Ethan head out to find the Man in Yellow's car. They look in the trunk, nothing but rust. Victor gets in the passenger side. He opens the glove compartment and finds a leather bag of teeth, as you do.
So at this moment, I'm like, was Danhausen at Fromville? Because he just carries around jars of teeth.
That's gross, man.
Yeah.
Victor tries to show the teeth to Ethan. He needs to be prepared, Victor says. Tabs stops him, and Ethan kind of walks off as Tabs chastises Victor. Gets mad. What's wrong with you? What? Really, Cody? Tabs is the worst. What do you mean what's wrong with him?
So I was already upset with Tabs before Victor tries to show the teeth. Because she's like, oh, we need to look at the car. We need to be here for Victor. And then she goes wandering off.
Yeah.
To a different vehicle. Why are you wandering off? You just said we have to be there for Victor.
Because Tabs is the worst. What's wrong with you? What do you mean what's wrong with him? He watched his mom get eaten and has been by himself in a nightmare world for 40 years.
Also, your son is like a 10-year-old boy. He's going to be okay with teeth. It's not like there is tongues and eyeballs in there.
We go to Jade, who's making a spatial reasoning map of the tunnels.
Which is so weird.
Much to Kenny's chagrin, Jade says it's what made him successful back in the real world, that he thought like this. So Jade asks Kenny what he did after a short argument about, don't you know what I did? And Kenny being like, everyone knows what you did, because you don't shut up about it. So Jade asks Kenny what he did, and he doesn't want to tell him. And Henry steps in to get a drink. And Kenny finally says he was in sports administration, which hilariously Jade thinks is a coach.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand that, like, no, man, Kenny probably worked as the secretary at the rec. Jade thinks he was a coach. Coach Kenny. Coach K. Ellis stops in to tell Kenny that it's a very bad idea for Boyd to go out, and shares his health situation with him, which, that's a HIPAA violation, Cody.
A little bit.
Jade asks Henry what he used to do, and he says, pretty much what I'm doing right now, which thread clipped, Cody, confirmed. Henry was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Nice one. As Henry continues his protest to Jade, he sees another vision, though. And this time, he's full on in the vision. He's in a hospital bed. Victor is there and looks like Victor might if he was in the real world.
The most normal looking Victor has been this whole series.
But we know he is in the thrall of the Man in Yellow now. He is seeing these visions, and we know what happened. So in the middle of all this, there's a short conversation between Elgin and Julie. And Julie is, of course, very cynical at the moment. And Elgin tells her, there's a truth in all this. But you know how this place wins? By throwing so many lies at you, you don't believe the truth even when it's staring you right in the face. Elgin dropping wisdom bombs.
Because he is the most important character just randomly.
How does a man get his eye pried out and his wrist smashed to smithereens, and he's like the most baseline, reasonable dude there? How did that happen?
Because Elgin has some gift.
Sophia has a little side quest here. As she stops in to talk to Boyd, she saw Boyd walk off with the totem, and Boyd just fills her in on the whole totem plan.
I'm like, quit sharing, Boyd.
Oof. Sophia, now on a mission, takes a brief trip to the shed where Roger's stitched up corpse is still being kept. She has a fertilized egg with her that she stole from a hen.
Rude.
Is it weird that she knew it was fertilized by smelling it?
It made sense to me.
Anyways, she cracks it on Roger's chest after saying a little incantation. Then she whispers to Roger that it's time to play. Later, as she recites another incantation, Roger, formerly dead, mouth sewn shut, eyes buttoned, twitches. The man in yellow's true power, now on display. He can reanimate the dead, Cody. This is a new category of bad news, I think.
Necromancy.
It is. Is it noteworthy that to make it happen, she apparently needed to sacrifice a living thing?
I think it's a relevant thing.
Okay. I thought that was interesting, too. It's like, oh, she needed an egg. One that had a chick in it.
Might not be able to do miracles or create out of nothing.
Yeah. Boyd confidently tells Ellis his plan and how he's very confident that they can pull this off, Cody. And as Boyd is suiting up to go test this totem out himself, Ellis and Kenny stop him. His tremors have been getting worse. The show has been planting this for a couple seasons now. He's in no shape to be sneaking up on monsters, and Kenny volunteers to go in his place. And the logic is pretty sound. Like, you're too important and you're handicapped.
Where I would have said, I am falling apart. I am the most dispensable one amongst us, and you guys need to become leaders.
But I think that was their point, that he's not the most dispensable. And you made the point earlier saying that who steps up if he's gone?
Well, they need to. And also, the show would suffer if Harold Perrineau died right now. So don't do that.
He's the star of the show. He's not going anywhere. But Kenny volunteers to go. Boyd hates it, but accepts it because his hand can't stop shaking. So this is Boyd surrendering control. The leader who has been, bordering on a savior complex is now letting someone other than him go out. And I feel like that's a big moment. You need to say that. We need to make sure that that's clear. This is a first. So Kenny heads out. After night falls, the monsters are out there. Kenny picks up a totem spear. He heads out alone into the town. Boyd and Ellis are watching from the window. The tension is high. Kenny moves quietly, finds a creature with its back to him, creeps up, and he rams the spear into the creature's back. It yells in pain, Cody. But the yell fades as he slowly turns around, and then he says, "Just kidding." And Kenny turns and sees that one of the monsters has positioned themselves in front of the door of the post office / sheriff station. Kenny, it's an ambush.
Well, when you tell your whole plan to the person in yellow.
Yeah. So he can communicate with them somehow?
Because they had every house entrance blocked.
Yeah. The totem works on dolls, Cody, but it does not work on the original night creatures. Bad data. Kenny freezes. He's kind of shocked. The other creatures appear from every angle. They're blocking his path back to buildings, and they sort of herd him toward the abandoned bus. Now, Kenny scrambles inside. He can't close the door quickly enough because there's still a talisman in there. So he scrambles up to the roof as Smiley sort of follows him in. And he climbs up there. The bus is surrounded, and the creatures are on every porch, and Kenny is going to die, it looks like. And on the bus rooftop, Smiley climbs up with Kenny. Now, something very interesting starts happening because we keep flipping to Fatima, who's apparently seeing all this. So Smiley begins to taunt Kenny with his father's death, saying he made funny noises. Do you make funny noises? Like he's just trying to get under his skin.
And I said, that was racist, Smiley.
Oh.
You don't do that.
No, Smiley. Just as Smiley lunges, Fatima, back at Colony House, who's seeing all this, something happens. So she screams out, no. And whatever she does, there's some sort of connection between them. And it's active and bi-directional. She can affect him. And her scream pulls Smiley out of it, like his kill mode, whatever that is. You know how they change into that very demonic looking thing? Her scream turns him back into just plain Smiley, and he pauses just long enough for Kenny to push him off the top of the bus.
Well, that wasn't nice, Kenny.
Now, Cody, you have confirmed some biases here. Biases?
I have a confirmation bias.
Okay.
But it happened a little bit earlier than this. But
Okay.
yes, the talismans work on the night beings. The spirit totems work on the dolls, but not vice versa.
Okay.
This is kind of reminding me of rock, paper, scissors, which is a child's game. And if I'm looking at this through a lens of Ethan, Victor, same child, and that this is being told from their perspective, it makes sense
Yeah.
that this is a child's game of how to stay alive.
Child story could be a video game. Like, think about the original Legend of Zelda, where only the silver arrow could hurt Ganon.
Yep.
At the end, like, you had to have the specific weapon for the specific enemy. And yeah, I could totally see that. Kenny, meanwhile, after he has escaped Smiley, he drops back down to the hatch and he seals himself inside the bus. So he activates the talisman. Maybe he's safe for the night. Maybe. I don't know.
I presume so.
Back at Colony House, Roger, newly animated, newly revived,
Raj!
sewn jaw and all, rips his own stitched mouth open and breaks through a door. This is scary stuff, by the way. This was wild. He's not a creature exactly because he appears to be suffering.
Yes.
Like, it's weird. I don't know if I can accurately explain it, but he's something kind of hybrid. He's evil. He's got this supernatural strength, but clearly it's Roger still in there. But mayhem and chaos erupts inside Colony House. People scatter. And at this point, I'm thinking, oh, Colony House is about to have a mass casualty event. But then Cody!
It's happening.
Cody, it's happening. Just as poor Patty is about to be the first casualty, Elgin grabs one of Tabitha's spare totem spears and stabs Roger through the chest. The reanimated corpse drops. The totem works on reanimated doll bodies, I guess.
Yep.
Elgin gets the hero beat, Cody. After everything that's happened to him, the guy with one eye, the guy with the busted hand, saves Colony House. Cody is winning the season.
After people were unceremoniously calling him Smelgin.
People were doing that. I don't know who those people were, but people were doing that. Sophia smirks at the top of the stairs. Credits. Which brings us to Fromspiracy!
Fromspiracy. So my next Fromspiracy, I really couldn't fit it in to like anything besides early on when they're talking about taking the kids' dead bones. What if the man in yellow is actually the devil?
Okay.
So we deposit that. And the adults who sacrifice children, because evidently this has been a thing for centuries, if you believe the flashbacks. What if they represent various world religions where there were sacrifices by people, like sacrificing other people or children? And
you're going total allegory here.
I
like it.
And that the man in yellow was the one that like led them to start that practice. And now there has to be like a representative of like that old time faith to be there every cycle until they learn how to break that cycle, which then would make my Elgin as Odin thing a more likely reasonable theory. But I have nothing to back it up besides
Besides, he's got one eye.
he has one eye, and the man in yellow does seem to be a devil-like figure, and there has been a lot of like world religions being brought in this season in particular, where a lot of the time I thought that it was more maybe Christian based with some things, and then the tarot cards. But yes.
Yeah, I think at this point the man in yellow is I still think he's definitely a devil stand-in.
Yes.
Because he could, like, it's clear he has abilities and powers, and yet doesn't, like, he could just kill people at will if he wanted to do that. But instead, he seems resolute on just torturing them, making them fight each other, making them miserable, sowing as much discord as he can, that's a devil thing.
I've read Job.
Yeah. It's time for RIP, rest in peace, Cody. We gather here today for the second time in 3 episodes to pay our respects to Roger. Again. Roger of Colony House. Roger of the grocery run. Yada, yada, yada. Cody, the man, can't catch a break and he keeps dying.
Roger of the storage shed.
Roger spent his final moments, again, bursting into Colony House to terrify the people who already had a rough enough week before our guy Elgin spear checked him into the next dimension. Roger, you set a watch-alongs record tonight. 2 RIP segments in 1 season. Well done, sir.
Proud of you, buddy.
It's a speed run nobody asked for. May you rest in peace. Again, for the real this time, hopefully. And for Pete's sake, someone keep an eye on Patty. Poor Patty.
She is just in harm's way and uncomfortable all the time.
She's having a real rough season. Real rough. Who's your winner of the week?
Elgin. He's back.
So back. He's so hot right now.
Yes.
You're gonna back that up, or you're gonna leave it at that?
I mean, he's giving Julie knowledge bombs. I don't know if she's hearing it because of all the smoke in the air.
Yeah, I know. She turned into a cynical teenager druggie.
Again.
She's like, the world sucks, blah.
And then he gets to play hero and save Patty's life.
Cody, let me tell you why you're wrong. The winner of the week, and it's not even close, is you, Cody.
Yeah.
It was always you. Cody's been telling us for 2 full seasons that I had this man wrong. You said it when I called him Smelgin. You said it when Boyd took a hammer to his hand. You said it when Sarah took a screwdriver to his eye. You said it when he was hauling buckets of dirt up the stairs from Fatima's mud sculpture face. And tonight, the man with one eye, with one good hand, and the worst luck on the show, grabbed the totem spear and saved Colony House. So, Cody, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm stupid, you're smart. I was wrong, you were right. You're the best, I'm the worst. You're very good looking, I am not attractive.
Also, Henry admitting to being a drunk.
You were right about that.
That's why she had so many bottles for that tree.
That's true. I'm surprised he doesn't recognize the tree. He's like, oh, that was my favorite beer in 84. Who's your loser of the week?
I'm not going Henry again because that would be too easy. I'm going to go Smiley.
Oh, yeah, good call.
Because he had the moment to take Kenny out and like just totally gut everyone and their plans, but yet Fatima with her golem right by her side was able to connect to her or to him and was able to snap him out a little bit and shell shock him so much so that Kenny could kick him off the bus.
You know those videos you see in reels sometimes of like the fighters of the ultimate fighting stuff, and the one of them's like too cocky. He's like doing stuff instead of like, taunting instead of finishing the guy off, and then they end up losing.
Yep.
That was Smiley. That's exactly what happened. My loser of the week is Tabitha. Cody, this woman cannot get out of her own way. Jade is out here doing diplomacy, being calm and measured. He's speaking softly to Henry, even though Henry's being combative. He's leading Kenny through the concepts of spatial reasoning like a patient grad student. Meanwhile, Tabs is doing what Tabs does best this season, being weirdly absent, even though she's there for half the episode, and then showing up just in time to yell at Victor. She yelled at Victor, Cody. The man's mother got eaten in front of him. She picked him to lose it on. Get it together, Tabs.
And you left him to find the teeth. Like you said, we have to stick with Victor for this.
He said, I need you there because I got to do something scary.
And you didn't stick with him.
Tabs is the worst. Easily the loser of the episode. And in the lead for loser of the season.
I don't know why they keep killing Jade's character throughout the reincarnations. Where Tabitha, it makes sense.
How many fertilized eggs out of 10 are you giving this episode, Cody?
I'll go 8.75.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this was an 8.5, 9 for me. Easy. This was a great episode, and I totally disagree with people online saying nothing was answered here. I think you got a lot of answers here. They just didn't flat out say it.
Yep.
But things are being answered. Things are making sense now. You're starting to see the system of what's going on with From in all of this, I think.
Fingers crossed.
Yep. Poof, I can't wait for the next episode. Tell us what you thought of From Season 4, Episode 7, The Best Laid Plans, on the social media posts for this episode. Make sure and subscribe. If you're enjoying these, make sure you rate our podcast. Give us all the stars you can give us. Write us a nice review because that helps us get discovered by more people, and more people can have the fun. We'll see you next week.